what it means to me to be a graduate of the University of Oklahoma is someone who is contributing to a live legacy. Oklahomans have done everything, and we do it well. And really, working at OU with other students, it was a great place to begin to learn. I was thrilled that it was necessary for how to function in the world, but it really gave me the background for how to deal with a lot of issues that we face.
We were asked to take a lot of classes in different fields, radio and TV, sort of just to get around a good experience, not to just learn how to get into a report and that's it.
We become the face of millions of people every week, and so when they see that, there's not an extension of the University of Oklahoma in me. And for that, I'm very proud.
I saw ordinary people up here doing extraordinary things, and I thought, I can do that. And I hope these kids say, I can do that too.
Oklahoma has been so good to me, you know, in my athletic career, my political career, anything that I've been involved in. I mean, Oklahoma, that's who I am. That's who shapes me, and that's my base.
It's very easy to talk with people about products that you truly believe in. And I truly believe in what we're doing.
Welcome to the 2011 JayMac Distinguished Alumni Ceremony. This morning we will be honoring 4 of our alumni. Jay Mac, Mayor Nick Cornett, Howard Dwight, and Larry Watkins. Now, welcome the PR Development Director of Human Theater and JayMac President, Nancy Howard.
Welcome to the 2011 JayMac Distinguished Alumni Ceremony. Again, my name is Nancy Hoggins, and I am the current president of the JayMac Alumni Association. Many of you are familiar with JayMac, but we have 2 students, I think they're all in the back there, that may not know what we're all about. The Friends and Alumni Association of the Gaylord College, nicknamed JayMac, was organized in 1983 with a mission to promote the pride for the program and its faculty, students, and alumni, and to encourage the pursuit of excellence within the school and among the practitioners of the profession. I would like to thank all of the JayMac members that I see in the audience today, and I want to especially recognize our lifetime members who are in the audience, Howard Price and our own Dean Joe Foote. And now I'm going to bring Dean Foote up here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nancy. Appreciate all that JayMac is doing for our college. All of our graduates throughout the world are contributing so much. This is just a manifestation of it today, and we're pleased to have you here. Today, with honoring the 4 recipients, you're going to see brings to 100 the number of people who have been honored with this award, which began 27 years ago. 100 is not a huge number. It shows the elite nature of this recognition, and when you think about the thousands of people around the country who have graduated from this program, it makes it that much more special. I'm pleased to see that we have several students here today. I think one of the real benefits of this program is for students to interact with alumni, to see those generations coming together. As our president, David Boren, would say, 2 hands clapping, different backgrounds, different times, coming together in that moment can be very special, and I hope it is today. We have started the Young Alumni Award, and I think that is a especially good thing because it gives students an opportunity to see someone who is not that far removed at all from the classroom, someone who was in one of these seats just a few years ago. And that's special to have Jake Madison back today to recognize him because most of us on the faculty do remember Jake and remember his promise. I often am asked when we honor an outstanding alum They asked, could you see in them then those outstanding qualities that would make them so nationally prominent, so successful? And the answer is yes. I think all the faculty here would say yes, you do see that we knew Jake was going somewhere. We just didn't know where. And very pleased to have you back today, guys. Now, I have a different perspective on Howard Price for many reasons. But I was there at the beginning almost with Howard. Young kid from Chicago. I see my classmate Weldon Watson, State Representative Weldon Watson in the audience. Weldon and I know Howard all too well. And one thing we saw in Howard that was so evident, and I think is so necessary to be successful in broadcasting, is that passion for the field. Howard was just all over everything he ever did. He was a full-time cameraman at Channel 5, a full-time student, full-time leader at KUBY, full-time partier, and a full-time friend. I'm very grateful for that friendship, and especially looking forward to seeing Howard on it today. Mick Cornett, the mayor of Oklahoma City, we're going to see today a video about his forecasting day. Something hard for me to relate to because I was living in Oklahoma and I've never seen him in front of a microphone, never seen anything but the stately mayor. So it's going to be very revealing to me. I mean, Nick has done such a fantastic job as mayor of Oklahoma City and helped in the renaissance of this place that put Oklahoma City on the map with the arrival of the Hornets and the Thunder and Max 3 and the redevelopment of downtown. He's just quickly becoming one of the outstanding mayors in the United States. Well, what I really admire about Nick is he has been quietly pursuing another degree for the past few years. But you can imagine a guy with the stress of being mayor of a thriving city and finishing the week, he's exhausted. And most people would want to show out for the weekend. And Nick goes to the airport and gets on a plane, flies to Oklahoma City, and sits in a classroom all weekend to get his MBA at New York University, which he finished this summer. And many of us have aspirations of doing things, and we talk ourselves out of them because we're just too busy, we can't handle that, and it really tells a lot about Nick's character and his discipline when you see what he's done in this higher education endeavor. And another star in Oklahoma City that's made such a difference in that place is Kerry Watson. And it's a very important role being head of the Oklahoma City Memorial and Museum. If you think about this being the most horrific tragedy this city has ever known, and the nerves and the edginess and all of the sentiment, emotions that surrounds that, there's a great opportunity to get it wrong. And we can look at New York and we can see what some of those things are. And that if someone got it right in Oklahoma City and built a beautiful memorial and a museum that satisfies all of these constituencies, I think is a remarkable achievement, and especially proud to have her as one of our graduates. Carrie is someone that everyone loves, who's got those special qualities. But in my view, so much of it goes back to her family in Cleveland, Oklahoma. I have spoken many times about how special it is to have community newspapers and how those publishers are so linked to the community, and those families are part of the heartbeat of that community. And when you think that Perry came from that environment, from a newspaper family where public service and commitment were in her DNA, it seems so natural when you look at her success in Oklahoma City to the her roots in Cleveland, Oklahoma, and what her family has done. And we're pleased that one of Terry's nephews, a Gaylord ambassador today. And there are two other Ferguson from Cleveland who have just entered the University of President's leadership class. We hope they'll be journalism majors, so we can have a whole line of folks coming, and we'll be proud. We are very proud, too, of our current students. The quality of the student body has never been better. Their achievement has never been higher. Any alum who comes back to the university can rest assured that this place is the same hub of activity they left, only stronger and better. And I can say that as an alum of the 70s and someone who sees it every day today. But rather than go on about our students too much, I just want to introduce two of them to you, and you'll see immediately what I'm talking about. Allison is Allison and Sarah. Here they come. Head of our ambassadors. And I'm on the wrong page. Mick Cornett would never allow this. All right, I got it. I've never been in this position. Allison Harris and Sarah Ferguson. I'm going to start from the top. Page 2. They're both co-chairs of the Gaylord Ambassadors, and they will lead the homecoming activities this year, bringing guests to campus. Allison is a senior journalism major with an emphasis in broadcasting. She is president of Kappa Kappa Gamma sorority. She's producer, reporter, and anchor for OU Nightly, and is student representative for the college's Board of Business, which will assume that position tomorrow, the first student ever to be included in the Board of Business. Allison was named the top student TV anchor in the United States this year by the Broadcast Education Association. Sarah is a broadcasting and electronic media senior. She served as an anchor for OU Nightly, worked as producer for the magazine-style talk show Always Oklahoma, and has participated in the British Media Study Abroad program. Sarah is a National Merit Scholar from St. Louis, the recipient of the Rock Kelly Scholarship and the Press Club of Metropolitan St. Louis Scholarship. So, Allison and Sarah, take it away.
As members of the Gaylord Ambassadors, we get to meet some absolutely amazing people. And some of the best experiences are when we find out that those people actually got their start for their impressive careers right here at OU, just like us. And today we're here to honor 4 such people, but first we want to honor a member of another group of people that inspire us, the faculty. One of the ways that JayMac supports Gaylord College is by supporting teaching excellence. And Gaylord students get to be a part of that process. And each year, the JayMac Teaching Award is given to a Gaylord College faculty member who has demonstrated excellence in the classroom. Well, the nominees for the JayMac Teaching Awards that are present with the stand: Fred Beers, Deborah Chester, Charles Self, David Hartman. As you may know, students have a chance to evaluate their professors at the end of each semester. And from those evaluations, the top 4 professors are selected as candidates for the JayMac Teaching Award. Students then have the opportunity to vote on who they think performs the best in the classroom setting. These 4 professors are the top scoring professors from last year's student evaluation. They represent the best that appear at Gaylord College and at OU. Each of these professors has made a difference in the lives of their students, and we hope will continue to do so for many more years. But when it came down to the end, there could only be one winner, and that professor received 60% of the vote. But first, here are a few comments that students had about these 4 professors. If you work hard, he'll know it. If you don't, he'll know it even better. And he brought in real professionals for PR and ad businesses, and I learned more of what I would be doing. Another says, he's one of a kind. No kidding. He's a strict professor, but you know you can get a lot from his class. And another, amazing professor. I never had anyone stimulate my mind like they do. And finally, he really cares about his students, not only inside the classroom, but also outside. He genuinely has their best interest at heart and is always finding new ways to help them achieve on a number of levels. And on that note, Professor David Harping, please join us on stage.
Congratulations, David. This becomes no surprise for our students because he's one of those favorite teachers that stand out so clearly. It's obvious to everybody. We're so proud that he's guiding Lindsay and that, which is becoming one of the top advertising public relations student agencies in the nation. And SARP is going so strong, it takes students to New York every year, thinking about the West Coast as well, and just has a whole army of TARP supporters out there who will rally to his cause at any time, and they will be equally pleased when word filters out that New York and LA and Chicago are all the media centers where TARP has his cadre of support. I want to introduce today another alum. We have so many outstanding alums. David is a 1958 graduate, and we also have the Vice President of Development at the University, who is one of our graduates, a 1986 graduate from Stigler, Oklahoma. And you will notice that another PR outstanding person, Jay Basden, is from Stigler, which if anyone wants to infer anything from that, you can say there's something special in the water. Stigler is the place to be from if you're in PR. I'm sure Jay felt somewhat of a chip on his shoulder when he went to New York and he was saying, all of these people who don't have the benefit of Stigler behind them, how are they going to fare here? You know, with me being here, I'm sure it must have been tough to level yourself down. But Trip Hall, the person I'm talking about, most of you know Trip. He's Vice President of University Development. He served in various leadership capacities in the university, including Director of Alumni Affairs. Last year, development brought in $153 million in gifts and pledges, all going to help our students and their endeavors and make OU a better place. Trip Hall began his career as a student working in the alumni office. He later joined U.S. Senator David Bourne's staff as field representative, ultimately becoming his director of Eastern Operations. And he remains here today, standing behind President Bourne and making all of these wonderful things happen. And they're helping Gaylord College and the entire university. We're very proud to have Trip as a graduate of this college.
Exciting, beautiful day to be back on the University of Oklahoma campus. I have a little something I want to do real quickly. There are two things in life I never really want to follow. There are two people. One is President David Bourne whenever he gives a speech or any remarks of any kind. And secondly is to speak in front of my former speech teacher. Today I want to introduce our favorite speech teacher, Teresa McAdoo, from Stigler Public School. And secondly, when you look at the leadership of this wonderful college and Dean Joe Bush, you look at the quality of the faculty, you look at the strength of the classroom, the tools that these teachers have been given to teach. You also look at the wonderful exposure and experience that each of you as students have. This is a great college, and we are very fortunate to have such a college on our campus. We're the envy of many colleges and universities, but here, the difference we have is that it's a family. And you'll see today, when you look at the work and the walks of life of these 4 honorees, from politics to business to nonprofit work to the future of our generation through Jay Mason and others, you will see the excellence, and that's what we've always strived for at the university, is a level of excellence that is second to none. We have had a remarkable year in fundraising. Many of my colleagues are here today who have helped us get to where we were. The largest fundraising drive in the history of the University of Oklahoma was accomplished in June 30 of last year, even during these difficult economic times. And why? Why? Because our alumni and friends believe in the University of Oklahoma, and they believe in colleges just like this. So I want to ask you, continue giving, continue supporting, continue being role models and mentors to our students, because if they do not have a good experience, they will not be good alumni and friends, and they will not be good donors to the university to continue this excellence. So that is our challenge to those of us who have graduated, and we welcome the opportunity to enrich your lives as students here at the University of Oklahoma. Congratulations to all of our honorees this year, and thank you so much for being with us on this very special day.
The Distinguished Alumni Awards began in 1984 as a way to cast spotlight on our alumni that have distinguished themselves in their chosen fields. The first honorees were Charles Engelman, Doc Jordan, Leif Olson, and Ray Shaw. Since that time, JayMac has inducted 96 members into the ranks of Distinguished Alumni, and 5 more alumni have been recognized with the Young Professional Award established in 2006. Last year's honorees included Carol Burr, editor of Sooner Magazine, John D. Montgomery, publisher of the Purcell Register, and J.T. Watt, U.S. Congressman. Jennifer Johnson Pitts was honored with the Young Professional Award. When you stop to think about it, our college has more than 10,000 alumni, a very select group of people. Today, we are taking time to recognize the career of 4 more of our alumni. I'll share a brief bio of each recipient, and then we'll watch a short video profile for each after. And then after your video, you'll come to the stage, we'll recognize you with a plaque, take a couple pictures, and you can sit down in your chair. Oh, please make a few remarks, please. Because you're amazing, and we want to hear about it. Okay, on with the awards. In 2006, the JayMac Board decided to specifically recognize an under 40 who have demonstrated outstanding professional potential early in their career. The first recipient was Hannah Alum, Cairo bureau chief for the McClatchy newspapers. Since then, JayMac has also recognized Paul Gass, producer for the hit TV show 24, Bird Running Water, who is a film scout for the Sundance Institute, Holly Bailey with Yahoo News, and last year's recipient, Jennifer Hicks, editor of the European edition of the Wall Street Journal Online. Impressive. Under 40. This year, it is my pleasure to present to you a young man who has risen quickly in the public relations field. Jake Faison is a 2006 public relations graduate, but he burst onto the New York PR stage even before graduating, when he was named one of the top 5 PR students in the country by PR Week magazine. In 2008, after working in the industry for just 2 years, Faison received the Young PR Professional of the Year Award, also from PR Week. He got his first industry job interning for 2 summers with Ogilvy PR Worldwide in New York, and was offered a full-time position following graduation. After just 2 years with Ogilvy, Faison moved on to Edelson PR, where he first began promoting celebrities and athletes. He is now the Director for Publicity for Big Machine Label Group in Nashville, and works with country music stars like Reba McEntire, Rascal Flatts, and Jewel. Jake is a real mover and shaker. I think you'll see what I mean when you watch the video.
Dick Davidson, graduated in 2006, and already received the Young Professional Award. But the question is, who's Dick Davidson? So I decided to talk with KLAS to see if I could get a resume for Dick Davidson. Thank you. And I thought to myself, what could he possibly do in 5 years? Oh, I mean, look at this. Before this guy even left, he won the Video on Campus Trophy. Oldby. His first stop was at Oldby in New York. And he got that in the middle of his senior year. And then from Oldby, he goes to Alumni. And now he's the director of publicity at Big Machine Label Group. He's traveling the country with a bunch of country music stars. I wonder what he's up to today. Hey, Dick, where you at?
Hey guys, I'm here in the green room actually at the Georgia Theater in Athens, Georgia. We flew down for the night. One of our artists, Brandon Gilbert, is actually performing here. He's from Georgia, and basically the album comes out tomorrow, September 13th, so this is really almost like an album release concert of some sort. So we just did a bunch of interviews, and now we're getting ready for the concert.
I'm the head of diversity, so I'm the department that oversees public relations efforts for Reba McIntyre, Martina McBride, Jackson Flack, Georgia, the Barry Carey, who's just blowing up, Justin Moore, Brandon Gilbert. The list goes on and on.
We are here on the First Street Place, right outside of Nashville, Tennessee, and today we're actually doing Justin Moore. He's taking a music video for the song JayMac. The
challenge really is, how do you keep them fresh and new and keep consumers alive with music? And that's exciting because we sit and brainstorm and we try to figure that out. And I'm there to help them maneuver and navigate through all the many different opportunities and challenges that there are within media to help expose them to new audiences without sacrificing the current fan base.
We're here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. This is our third stop on 14th Friday, 11th across the American shore. We've got roughly 400 people here. We're all waiting over here to get off the train. 2 o'clock in the morning, exactly when we start this week. We're coming out, and we're going to buy an album. So, Jay, this is the first one.
If I had to pick one country song that really symbolizes who I am, a certain artist by the name of Justin Moore that I work with, he wrote a song called Small Town USA. And I'm so proud to be an Oklahoman. I don't know that I would be in the same situation if I wouldn't have only graduated 86 people or grew up in a small town where we knew everybody. It's just the lessons and values I learned in particular and people I met in small town USA definitely symbolizes me because I lived in a big city, live in a big city now, and, you know, every day I am so thankful I came from a small town.
Hey, so I'm here in the car. I'm getting ready to go into the Bluebird Cafe because 60 Minutes is in town and they're about to film an interview with my CEO, they've been in town all week filming about Taylor, and he's a very integral part about it because he discovered her at the same Bluebird Cafe.
It's been a whirlwind, a roller coaster, and every day more amazing. I can go to work and sit in a meeting and talk something about Reba McIntyre or go to a music video shoot for Radical Class, but it's just a whole new universe. And I've always been passionate about publicity and public relations in media, but ever since I've been able to combine that with my passion for country music, I just feel on fire. The amount of interviews I wake up in the morning, it's ridiculous. And I have to almost sedate myself to go to sleep because my mind It's always turning, and I'm so happy to be a part of it.
As our 2011 Young Professional Pitch Honor.
I have to say, I spend all day editing photos, looking at videos, making people do touch-ups, and then do more touch-ups. So it was a little unnerving to send in all this footage and wonder what would come out of all of it. But I have to say, I'm very impressed, and I'm so proud of that video, and I can't wait to take that back to Nashville with me and probably even share on my Facebook page. So, on May 16, 2002, I walked across the stage on the football field at Stigler High School in a red cap and gown, a diploma in hand, and a head full of racing thoughts and a heart of mixed feelings. What was to come next? I got home that night and was fortunate enough to have several cards in the mail from family and friends congratulating me on graduation. I'll never forget opening one envelope that had a bright yellow Hallmark card inside of it with a message that would soon thereafter become my life motto. On the cover of the card was a quote by Maya Angelou. It read, "You can only become truly accomplished at something you love. Don't make money your goal. Instead, pursue the things you love doing, and then do them so well people can't take their eyes off of you." I was so moved by that quote. I kept the card, and I still have it today. Its bright yellow color has faded to an amber color, and its edges are most certainly ruffled, as it has now made appearances in my OU dorm, my room at Pi Kappa Phi, my 2 jobs in New York City, and it now sits in my office at Nashville. I was lucky to find what I truly loved during the beginning of my time at OU: writing, designing. Being creative is a part of my DNA, and I was able to find a college and a major that could help me identify a career path where those traits would serve well. My professors, organizations like the Public Relations Student Society of America, and functions even put on by the President's Leadership Class here at OU, all helped me solidify myself as a public relations major. The Gaylord College gave me direct access to state-of-the-art resources such as software and computers, and even gave me and my peers direct access to public relations executives in companies like Walmart and Flexman Hillers, so that we could all hear firsthand what would be expected of us in the industry. All those opportunities have already proven very fruitful for me as a young alumni. Last night on the plane ride here, I took some time to really cut out all of the chaos of the day and reflect on my achievements over the past 5+ years. Professionally, I've had experiences many public relations professionals might not experience in a lifetime. I've worked at the 2 largest public relations firms on the planet and have secured billions of media impressions through my public relations work. I started counting them out in my head, actually. 13 Today Show segments, 8 Good Morning America bookings, at least 2 dozen Entertainment Tonight features, a couple of CBS Sunday morning segments, about 15 New York Times, Wall Street Journal, and USA Today features. All for some of the world's largest brands: Pepsi, Best Buy, Dove, Axe, Lenscrafters, Goldman Sachs. The list goes on and on. I've been involved in helping mitigate public relations crises such as the U.S. Airways flight that crashed into the Hudson a couple of years ago, and have also helped mitigate media relations crises through consumer goods that have either been contaminated or recalled. I even worked on a stunt that had Richard Branson descend from the top of the Palms Casino in Las Vegas and have been involved with many TV commercials. Now, I pinch myself every day because I'm working with country music finest, Reba, Taylor Swift, Rascal Flatts, newcomers like the band Terry. Just last week, I had the opportunity to travel on an Amtrak train all across the country with Martina McBride to raise awareness for breast cancer awareness through an anthem on her new album entitled I'm Gonna Love You Through It. It was an idea pitched on July 12th of this year to Amtrak, my second day on the job at Big Machine in Nashville. And now it's already become another achievement. Gosh, it's all just so humbling, but there's one thing I know for sure. I don't want it to ever end. I have quickly learned through my work in the music industry that fans are everything. They buy the albums, they purchase concert tickets, wear the merchandise, and really, ultimately, are responsible for the livelihood of the artist. I'm lucky to have some of my own fans here with me today, and I'm so grateful for. The people that have been the ones that have pushed me, helped me open doors, and gave me the confidence to pursue my dreams early on. Teresa McAdoo, with my speech and drama coach at Stigler High School. Today, I just call her one of my best friends. There's not many students who end up becoming so close with their high school teachers, but our relationship was truly inevitable. We have remained in close contact since my high school graduation. I value your honesty, your insight, and your ability to look at the world with an open mind. Trip Hall, my great friend, my mentor, my brother. I've had the honor of knowing Trip, who also held from Stigler, for the past 11 years. I spent 4 years working as a student assistant to Trip, and the lovely Rhonda and Jill and Michelle and Brenda and all you guys that are here today. I'm so glad that you were here. Really watching Trip, interacting with him, seeing how he dealt with alumni and issues, and that really has influenced my success. Just every day I catch myself doing something that I saw Trip do, whether it's writing a thank you note or kindly telling somebody that, I'm sorry, I don't have any Taylor Swift tickets tonight. I trust him so much. Thank you. My dad, the hardest working man I know, who taught me that hard work always pays off in the end. Thank you, Dad, for always supporting me. Your confidence in me is the foundation I needed to pursue all that I have achieved thus far. You sat at a lot of basketball games when I was in junior high where I did nothing more than warm the bench. But other things were, I guess, slated for me. So thank you. Didn't care either way. And Mom, you get to hear it all. The late night calls when I'm in the worst of moods. You're the first I call when I have the best of news, and everything in between. Your commitment to me and my sister, along with Dad, has been key. Thanks for allowing me to pay my own tax and trusting me to make the right decision. That freedom, along with knowing you have my back, has been the key ingredient to me uncovering new opportunities. The most amazing part about today is the realization that really, it's just the beginning for me. It was only 5.5 years ago that I was sitting at this ceremony as a student, and I can remember it quite vividly. The time has gone quickly, and I feel very good about all that's to come. But I do believe the best has yet to come. Thank you, Dean Foote and the Gaylord College of Journalism. I will never forget this day, nor will I forget the path that you helped create for me. Please keep supporting me, engaging with the students. Allow me to do all that I can. I can't wait for the day when I can give back to you all for all that you have given to me. Thank you so incredibly much. Thank you.
Okay. Our next, or our third, Distinguished Alumni Award this morning goes to Mick Cornett. Mick Cornett is a 1981 journalism graduate and the mayor of Oklahoma City. Not what he's held since 2004. Prior to becoming mayor, Cornett served 3 years on the city council. As mayor of Oklahoma City, he's helped usher in the current renaissance Oklahoma City is having. Cornett has been a tireless proponent for the Match 3 initiative and played a critical role in bringing the NBA to town. First, an invitation to the Hornets, and secondly, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, can you please get that? Before going into politics, Cornett had a successful 20-year career in journalism, working as a television news reporter, anchor, and manager in the Oklahoma City market, while also working as a newspaper columnist and a sports play-by-play announcer. In 1999, he left local television and and started his own production and advertising company, and also found time to teach as an adjunct journalism professor at OU.
Came down to my first city council meeting and just almost immediately fell in love with city government. And I remember specifically watching a citizen stand before her elected leader and pleading her case. And I remember thinking how wonderful this idea of democracy was. You don't see citizens standing in front of Congress. You don't see citizens standing in front of the governor of the state legislature on live television talking about their wants and their needs and their desires for their community. And I thought, man, if you want real change, if you really want to make something happen, city government is where it is. The goal was to become a television sportscaster. Well, how do you do that? You have to have some level of experience. People tend to not want to give somebody that first shot. And I sent out 110 resumes, and I got 2 responses. And one was a TV station in Bryan, Texas, a CBS ABC affiliate, but a real TV station. And they had an opening, and they wanted me to come down for an interview. They not only offered me the job within 48 hours, they had me on the air about 3 days later. So I was actually able to get a job and be in the business at the age of 21 and able to actually leave the campus before my degree. And it was all happening fast in retrospect. At the time, it seemed like it was taking forever, but a year and a half after leaving OU, I was back to Channel 5 in my third job and finally in an on-air position.
Once you tried as hard as you could to get a foul ball, brought the gloves, used every bit of strategy there was. Could you get one? I'm going to try it. Come on up. Let's see. Left-handed hitters are coming up this inning, so I'm going to go down the left field line. Hey, here comes one already. Oh, gosh. That'll be a big bounce on this one. Well, I didn't want that one anyway. This is Mick Cornett, reporting from the state left-hander soft service. Pardon me. Left-hander soft service. Keith Miller has hit a home run. Keith Miller has done it! Keith Miller! Give me 5! Yes! Keith Miller has hit a home run! Well, there's nothing to hit in left-handed. Left-handed sound like you know he's playing really hard. At Allsburg Stadium, Mick Cornett, 5 eyes for it.
The bombing in downtown Oklahoma City.
This morning, the grand jury investigating the Oklahoma City bombing heard from a man that said he saw Tim McVeigh and he saw John Doe No. 2 in the days before the bombing.
I was going through a stage in my professional career where my main focus had been on entertaining the audience. And coming out of the bombing, I didn't feel funny. It really altered my psyche in the respect that it made me kind of question, the relevance of my life and what I was accomplishing professionally, and that I really want to do this for the second half of my life. And soon after that, I started looking at where I lived, where my city councilman was, and trying to figure out a way that I could get elected to city council. I mean, I didn't have any grand plans, but I thought it was a nice entry-level position, and I thought I could win it. When I got to the city hall, the first thing I learned was there's a lot I don't know, and I need to sit here and take this in. And so I think one of my strategies was talk a little, but when you talk, make it meaningful. The mayor's office was built with City Hall in 1937. This picture here is something we're pretty proud of. It was painted in 1912. Well, the mayor sort of chose me because I was pursuing a path. I was trying to get the attention of an NFL team or a Division I college team. And I wanted to do specifically play for football. And if an NFL job had opened up, I would have taken that. But if the mayor's job opened up first, I was going to run for mayor. So I was kind of working on the two dual paths. And the mayor's job just opened up earlier than I expected. Was 18 to Well, what excites me is the opportunity to make things happen. So many people want to be a part of something and want to enact positive change, and for whatever reason, they're not necessarily ever in a position of power to be able to introduce a change. When you're the mayor, you have that opportunity, and so once I was granted that opportunity by the voters, I wanted to see this and see see, how we as a community could advance. You also in this community have a lot of people pulling on the same rope. That unity is very special, and it's been very fulfilling to see the city progress in the manner that it has, and it's especially meaningful because it is my hometown, and I know all too well what the city was like before, and it's thrilling to see where we are, and it's even more thrilling to see where we're headed.
JayMac is proud to recognize Mayor McCormick.
Well, it is especially scary to see your life compressed into a 10-minute video tape. And brought back so many memories. Thank you for whomever was in charge of writing that script and working on it. It was very meaningful to me, and did try to compress nearly a lifetime of opportunities the school itself creates. When you go through a process like this and coming down here and being back on the campus, you can't help but think back, to your days when you are getting that first degree and the opportunities that are presenting themselves. And I remember how driven I was to have a career in sports broadcasting, because it's not an easy job to get, and you need that education and that drive, and some of those separate yourself between the other people who are hoping to have that career. And I can remember working on a project. I think it was my senior year. We had this particular class I was taking required to take. You had to produce a 30-minute television show. I mean, you had all semester to do it, but still, it was a lot of work. And the equipment of the day, the industry was transitioning from videotape, or from film to videotape. And the university had some videotape equipment, but really, videotape was very revolutionary at the time. And the equipment I used for this particular project was reel-to-reel black and white videotape. And the title of my show was Famous Alumni at the University of Oklahoma. And I was able to interview Carl Albert, who was former Speaker of the House, Steve Owens, who was the Heisman Trophy winner, and my third person was Patience Ladding, the mayor of Oklahoma City. And so to do that story, I and another equally clumsy journalism student went down to City Hall in Oklahoma City, made an appointment, went past the executive assistant named Fran Corey, who would work for me 25 years later. And we sat down with Patience Ladding in what is now my office, and we did this long interview. I say long because it was 10 minutes. And when you watched it, it seemed really longer, because the camera never moved. We walked down the camera. And it was a two-shot, so it was kind of wide. And there was no cutaways, there was nothing. I mean, we just walked down the camera, and I talked to her for 10 minutes. There was no edit to me. Everything that I said ended up on the final piece. And I remember I was taken back, and I was talking to a professor, and Mayor Ladding's head was kind of centered in the middle of the screen. And you can see what normal headroom looks like in Jake and Carrie's picture there. That's a typical broadcast display that you would see. But the professor said, I keep thinking a bird is going to come in and land on Mayor Ladding's head, because you all have left so much headroom in the frame. And I nodded, in the teaching moment, I'm nodding, that probably wasn't our best shot. And just a few months later, I was the one sending out resumes trying to get that first job. And as most people in the industry know, regardless of what your chosen field is, that first job is the hardest. And I had been able to spend a little time at the ABC affiliate here in Oklahoma City and get some behind the camera experience, but I had no on-camera experience at all. And I had a resume tape that was, in kind of a one-take format, and it wasn't very impressive. But I sent out 110 resumes, and this video was displayed. I had 2 responses, and I took my last final on a Friday, and I arrived at that station on Monday morning in Bryan, Texas, and I was on the air that night. I mean, you never put a person on the air the first day they arrived at the station. They did. And I remember thinking, here I was, hundreds of miles removed. I had absolutely no support group. I had no family, I had no friends, I had no teachers, I had no co-workers that at the TV station where I was employed part-time. It was just me and the education I received at the school. And so, in the ultimate sink or swim, I was 21 years old and the main coordinator at a affiliate broadcaster with the opportunity of a lifetime. But no guarantee that when the red light went on and in the teleprompter-less station, that I would be able to perform to the level of their expectations. Fast forward into what you saw, this 20-year career, I remember thinking how grateful I was to the university for preparing for that opportunity. That I certainly hadn't deserved, but somehow obtained. And that first job led to the other. I also remember quite vividly leaving television and the opportunity to teach here in this very school. And I had been an adjunct for a couple of semesters, but this was an opportunity to teach as a full-time visiting professor in the broadcasting school. They had an opening and wanted to know if I was available, and I was. I was launching a video production business. But in launching a business, you have zero clients. And so the idea that I could make some income in a full-time job and at the same time launch my business was a perfect one-year opportunity for me. But I also, in retrospect, and I realized it at the time, that it was, I wish everyone could stop at mid-career, take a break, and go back to their university where they had been a student and go through the other side of the coin, be the professor in the room. And it forced me, really, for the first time, to actually come up with what I thought about journalism. I had been so involved in doing it for 20 years, 24/7, deadlines every 4 hours. There's not a whole lot of time to talk about form and strategy and how or why things are done the way they're done. And so in teaching it, I realized I had to sit down and actually think about how I wrote the way I did, how I believe that anchors interacted, and being able to use camera shots, and how journalism applies to the chosen craft. And so it allowed me to really go full circle. That 1 year of experience and forcing myself to come to grips with concepts was great closure to that point of my career. And far beyond the compensation that I received for teaching, that experience and opportunity to go full circle with my journalism career and teach and actually hopefully impact some future students' lives in ways that I've been impacted was very fulfilling for me. Then I went into the political arena and went on the other side of the camera and went through an additional transitional period in that I was now being interviewed by my friends. Because these were literally the people I had worked with, whether they're at my station or they worked at another station. We were together and knew each other. And I noticed soon that the assignment editors started sending the new reporter because they didn't know me. And the problem with that was that then I started running into reporters who would say, I grew up watching you on TV. Nothing will make you feel older faster than hearing that term. I am so grateful to my broadcasting career because it allows me to handle that function of political life very easily in a way that takes very little preparation. And secondly, I don't think there's any question that I would not have been elected mayor if I had not had a career in television. In that first campaign, I had very little money, and there were a lot of people who didn't think I was ready to be the mayor of the city at large. My opponent outspent me 3-1, and what he was not able to overcome was a 20-year career in television. The 52% name ID that I brought to the race had value far beyond what you could raise in a political campaign. And what that career had done was allow people to have an opinion about me. Now, whether it was good or bad, I was going to have to, suffer the consequences or cherish the opportunity to be mayor. But there's no question that without that 20-year career in local television, I would not have been elected mayor, not been able to overcome the fundraising abilities of my opponent, and not been able to have this opportunity to lead our city in such an exciting and vigorous time. So I'm grateful to my career and to this school for reasons that I've mentioned and many, many more. I also want to thank my 3 sons who are here today. Michael, two of them are still here. Looks like one of them has already had to leave. But Tristan and Michael are here. Michael's here with his friend Amy, and Casey apparently has already left. Casey's in the public relations business in Oklahoma City. Michael is a graduate of this very school and runs the video production business that I started when I left television. So thankful to them. I want to congratulate the other recipients today. I'm inspired by your stories. Grateful to the selection committee who out of all the graduates, thought I might be deserving of this honor. I appreciate it very much, and thank you for the opportunity to come down here today and talk.
Our next recipient, Howard Price, is a 1971 radio TV speech graduate and owner and president of Multinet Marketing, a national broadcast advertising firm for small to medium-sized networks and program syndicators. Price was a top radio advertising salesman for the Clear Channel Communications Network and eventually became their first $1 million ad salesman. Prior to starting in sales, Price had a successful career behind the microphone, beginning in high school as a disc jockey and later working as a reporter and traveling with ABC's Wide World of Sports. It's hard to capture the true essence of Howard Price, but we're going to give you a small glimpse.
And welcome to Center Magic. I'm an Okie in Colorado, and you know, when Colorado was in the Big 12, it didn't go over real well. I had friends that come to my house in Greenhouse Falls, and the house is called Center Magic. And several of them are Colorado grads, and they have to bring their own mugs that say, see you on it. They say it's the only thing that protects them when they walk in the house, which is called Center Magic. Colorado's beautiful. I love the mountains. I think the mountains are great. And I love it here 9 months out of the year. The other 3 months, I'm moving to Costa Rica. Because if you think I like 30 below zero, you do not. This is my favorite. It came from St. Petersburg, Russia. Please notice the front and the back. And then, of course, in Russia, you open it up, and look who my running back is. And then you pop Murray off of there. And, of course, we have Brown. And I guess the Russians really do know OU football, because and what would a football team do without its Johnson? We went with OU. A, I had great easy people in OU except B, it was about 975 miles away from my home. C, it had Sherman T. Lawson as the professor of broadcast, and he was considered the dean of all broadcast education. We had just one incredible group of real dedicated broadcasters. We weren't just students. We all worked in the business. We would get up in the mornings and we would either go to WKY TV early or WKY radio. Some of the guys went over to KOMA. Some of them went over to KNOR. And we worked there. The house was designed by a very unknown architect by the name of Howard Price back in 1965. And we had a lot of fun with it. It was originally designed to be on a lake, but there's no lakes around here. So we decided, let's put it on the side of a mountain. It's kind of hard to build on the side of a mountain. Building inspector said, the house is going to fall if you don't tear it. So we now have 1,505 railroad ties. Advertisers in beautiful downtown Norman that would pay 25 cents, 50 cents a spot, pay easy live. They wouldn't adhere to commercials. Well, somebody, and I will not mention who, decided it was important to get them the signal. This person took the 50-watt transmitter, put it on top of the new tower. Now, I don't know the name of what we would call it radio. And a 13-inch ID antenna. And we turned that little puppy on. That person turned that little puppy on. And I want you to know that we received a phone call from the
in the city, telling us that we were interfering with WFA radio and dial. But the important thing was that our advertisers in Norman, Oklahoma, heard from us. I don't want your damn voicemail. I need to talk to you. You want to build a book report? I'll run it for you, but you better be answering your phone when I need you. Thank you very much. This is not a recording. Jane and I started holding a party in 1995. What it is that we do, I'm not exactly sure. Which really is great. We represent a bunch of medium, small-sized radio networks. By that, it means that we put commercials on their network. It works. We were with the Geico people at a promotion, and I asked Ted Ward, who's in charge of all their advertising and their marketing, I said, what is his real name? Who's the guy that does the voice? And his answer was, the Gecko does his own voice. And we're not telling you his name, and we're not telling you where he's from. So I have no idea, but he's my buddy. He's one of our good clients. And you know what makes a good client? One that pays. There were so many people coming down from the east and the north and from the west to learn about oil. So there was this group that changed the way Oklahoma sounded, the way Oklahoma looked, the way Oklahoma thought. Because at that time, that was progressive. Oklahoma City was truly, back in the late 60s, early 70s, was the hub of creative television. We did things back then that nobody else was doing. I learned the real life. The real world is not New York, Chicago, Los Angeles. The real life, real United States, real America is Oklahoma. It's right there. It's where everything was happening at the time. Well, the golden age was way before me. But I think I was part of the golden age of Holy broadcast.
More important than I am, believe me. No, not. I don't know if Linda Stiller is here, but if she is, Linda, somebody has finally given me a stage and a microphone. I'm not exactly sure what to say. I don't prepare speeches, but I can say, Mr. Mayor, you have been following me around for a long time. See, I started at KOCO in Unionsport. I was at WPAW, which is also in Aggie Land. I did sports. I have been all around, and now I want to see the mayor of Green Mountain Falls. Unfortunately, it's only going to take about 50 votes, and I have about 10. This is wonderful for me. I've wanted this for a long time because I heard voices for years and years and years over in Kaufman Hall, which is over there. It's over there, wherever that. I kept hearing about all these great broadcasters that were at OU at some time. I mean, I don't know how many of you realize that Walter Cronkite used to call play-by-play at OU for OU football. That some of the greatest broadcasters that ever walked came from Oklahoma City. Some of the greatest weathercasters came from Oklahoma City. The Harry Volkmans of the world, the Kurt Gowdies that did sports, they were all here. This was the center, and I came down here, and I still sound very much like a Chicago boy, but I learned at a very
ripe age of 18 that what I need to do would sound like I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma. See, at that time, Tulsa didn't have an accent. It was the oil capital of the world, so I tried to fit into Oklahoma. It was not easy. I came down here to educate the natives, and I got the greatest education from the natives you can ever imagine. I learned about real life. Now, my brother and I don't see eye to eye about a lot of things. He lives on the East Coast. I live here or in Colorado. And so our political spectrum don't see eye to eye, but you would love Joe Close. Trust me, Andrew. You and Joe are going to get along just fine. Joe made a comment today. He's always glad when I'm walking on the campus with him because whenever a petition comes up, one of the two of us would be able to sign it. Sorry, wherever you are, Joe, thank you for that line. You students, you have no idea what you have. I'm the old codger. Joe calls me the keeper of the history of OU broadcasting. We didn't have a facility like this. This is amazing. We have 2 cameras, neither work. Mr. Mayor, you talked about learning how to edit on black and white videotape. Well, we had the Clyde, which was 4-inch videotape. And there was no computer for editing, guys. You look through a magnifying glass to find the control track. And then you put some brief pencils down, and then you cut it and you tape it. You have facilities here that are just unbelievable. Make sure you use them and abuse them. By abusing them, I'm talking about making them do things they were not designed to do. Because these guys, the creative, they don't think, well, we need to come up with a machine that does. No. They needed to come up with a machine that you needed to use the way you needed to use it. So we did that. We took the few things that we had and made them work. Special effects for us was a pain. You had a hot tank, and if you were smart, you'd hit button 1, you go to camera 2, and that was it. Oh, by the way, when the cameras did work, they had a 3-lens turret. And we would talk to the cameraman by going, "How are you over there?" There was no headphones, there was no headset. It was just make it work. Well, at the time, the 3 TV stations in town really were progressive. Channel 4 in particular. And I worked at Channel 5. We had wonderful programming at Channel 5, especially Monday Night Football. But the sound of the tuner switching from 5 to 4 was just totally deafening at 10 o'clock at night. When Monday Night Football was over, just immediately everybody turned over to what was WKY and the cable. They had the best equipment. They had the first color television cameras. NBC had to come back and try to buy one. They really did try to, we can mess around with these pumpkins. Well, they messed around with Mr. Gaylord, and they found out that he was no pumpkin. They walked out with paying for his 2 cameras, and they ended up paying a whole lot more than that, and they didn't get the ones they wanted. We learned business at OU. We learned how to make things work. We had a great time. I would go shoot film, and I would hear the next day from Ned Hoffman, God rest his soul, "Your film sucks." Dad, I'm not shooting a motion picture, I'm shooting news film. Well, then it was okay. We just had a wonderful time here, and we had a group, we had a crew. Joe finally showed up. I think they finally let him out of his home in Oklahoma, and he showed up, but we had people that were just wonderful. Weldon, I met Weldon Watson my first day at OU. Weldon, you're wonderful, man. You're just great. To go from OU to the State House and save the people of Oklahoma money, you're wonderful, man. Thank you. And then there's a man sitting 2 seats away from him, Paul Massey. If you guys haven't met Paul Massey, you need to when you graduate. It's the most important thing you can do once you graduate, besides
Getting the job of leading your parents alone.
is donating to this university. Now, I am probably the only living human being that tried to give money to this university and they would not take it. Paul has made up for that since. You need to give back to this university. It is very important. This thing needs to grow and grow. And the school is, like I say, is just wonderful. I love it. I come back here and I get refreshed. I went to David Craig's class one year on ethics and journalism, which is absolutely not possible. And I knew that it was going to be a joke. And I walked out of there feeling absolutely refreshed, wonderful, revived, because the kids today are really not as dumb as I thought they were. They're sure a hell of a lot smarter than we were. I'm proud of all the students. I'm proud of the staff. This is my school. I'm the old man here. And I just think that you guys have done a wonderful job. I am honored to receive this. I never thought it would happen. And I want to thank my family for allowing me to do this. Mr. Mayor, you know that you don't go for one job and stay there for a long time in broadcasting and get your 20-year watch and move on. Broadcast journalism is not Greece where you work one job and then you can retire. You move from place to place. About every 13 months, Jane would have to pick up and move. Most of the time she moved by herself because I was already working someplace else. We lived in some of the biggest hellholes in the world. You guys get used to it. One of your fellow graduates, Laura Neal, who received a scholarship from us, and I think that she was we used to be a mentor system here. Laura was my child. I am so happy to say that she tried broadcasting, and she tried insurance, and then she tried this, and she tried that. She's now full-time morning anchor, Channel 6 in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So proud of her. But she learned. She learned from this school. She learned that it's not all easy. That you're going to have to do things that you don't necessarily want to do, but set a goal. Set that goal. Say, this is what I want to do. And you may have to run around 50 miles to get there. But you will get there. This school will make sure that your education here will make sure. I know this. I couldn't get in here. I'd never be in. As the Board of Visitors, we were given some of the questions that you guys have to answer for our entry. Holy moly. I never would have gotten in. And then I don't know what I would have done. Probably been a lawyer. I would have gone to the dark side. Now my brother hates me again. So, all I can say is thank you. I really appreciate this. And now my wife will say to me, okay, you did it. Can we just retire now? Thank you very much.
You have to leave this class for my next generation.
Yeah, ram out.
Terry Watson is a third-generation journalist and a 1986 journalism graduate. Watkins was the first staff member hired by the Oklahoma City National Memorial Museum in 1996 and became its executive director in 1999. He was the recipient of the Women in Communications Byliner Award in 2000, the Journal Record Woman of the Year in 2005, and Downtown Oklahoma City's Stanley Draper Award for Community Excellence in 2006. Prior to landing her position at the memorial, Watkins was a producer at KFOR-TV in Oklahoma City, developing a lifelong friendship with fellow alumna Linda Kavanaugh. She also serves as the Director of Corporate Communications for Sonic Corp. Watkins uses her journalism skills every day. She tells us more than 6 million visitors to the memorial, the story of a city and a nation that triumphs over evil. She's received many, many national awards for her efforts. I believe you'll see those skills in the video.
The explosion went off around 9 a.m. and we could still be close on our cell 9 that struck the building, and that's when it hit downtown.
I was at my house where I was living, the baptism walk at the north side when the bomb went off, and remembered immediately watching the semi helicopter giving us the very first glimpse of the working. Something that happened, didn't know what it was, expected a death, frozen into that source, and realized that something was going to happen, not knowing or having a clue what would happen.
About a third of the building has been blown away, and you can focus debris and fire on the ground, downtown on the ground. It's devastating.
Brandon Memorial Museum was never a part of my thought pattern. I was raised in a family journalist, newspaper family, and wasn't sure what I wanted to do. My dad would prefer all of us to do something other than journalism at the time, but a friend of mine was an attorney at a local law firm, and recommended to me that I might look at this position. You know, I remember calling my friend Linda Kavanaugh and asked advice as the week went on, and then I offered me this part-time position as communications director of the Memorial Task Force at the time. And, you know, Linda's sage advice was absolutely you have to do it, but remember, whatever you do, you're going to live in this town, and people will come and go, and you will eventually, you know, have to stand behind whatever decisions are made. When people interest me, they want you to understand that you're going to learn the guts of the story. You're going to go to town of the bomb, you're going to learn some history of Oklahoma City, and of the site where this happened, which is, you know, news accounts and news reporter fans, and, you know, items that people have on that day, and why those are important to take you back and to experience that moment in time and how it changes forever. All of those are personal items that tell you the people who were killed were just like you and I. Very normal people, going about their day, either carrying out functions of government or visitors who are enjoying the functions of government. And then you're going to, you know, wind your way through the museum and see key artifacts, hard parts, the key, the graphic and intricate work that rescue workers did at all levels, local, state, federal, and how they came together and worked. No barriers, wasn't us versus them for us, Americans, working to solve why this America would do this stuff. Most importantly, to see the faces of the 158 people who were killed. I don't take one artifact for granted because for me, the rest, all they have left is their life. And they can hold on to that for the rest of their lives. But instead, they choose to give it to us and allow us to tell their story. Or allow them to use those items to tell the story. And I don't take any of that stuff for granted because I watch people time and time again give those to us. And the selflessness that they demonstrate by saying, take it. And I can hold on to it, but I'd rather you try to take it and change life. I really felt like it was almost a call. That was something I could do, I could help, I could help do something then that I wasn't able to do in April of 1995. I could help begin to put the plan together and work with these incredible community leaders that would communicate their message and share the hope that they wanted this place to stand for. I make some statements that may this memorial offer comfort, strength, peace, hope, and serenity. So I think we wanted this to provide comfort. We wanted people to gain strength when they came here. We wanted there to be a peace about this. You know, that this at the time was the worst, and still is, the worst domestic terrorist attack on American soil. So how can you find peace from something so tragic? But when you're out there and you're looking at the memorial or you're in the museum, you're in a portion of it,
you begin to find things that, the families and survivors and the communities figured out how to pick themselves up and move on. I hope really was a four-letter word. When we added that word in the final line of the mission statement that evening, in March of 1996, a woman who had lost her daughter said, I don't really want to watch football anymore. I have no hope. And this woman stood up, and the young man who lost his mom said, we have to find hope. I'm looking forward to his life, but he really is. He lost so much. And so at the end of the night, everyone agreed to put the word hope. Comfort, peace, hope, and serenity. Well, today I can't imagine this place without hope. It really was what was a four-letter word in 1996 it becomes our symbol today. It's the photography stand, it's the tallest point of the memorial, and it symbolizes hope and renewal and strength and faith and all the things that we wanted this memorial museum to teach. So I think we didn't know what the place would look like, but we knew we wanted those homes to be set when people came here. The memorial has had a huge impact on the community. I'm one small player in that part. I think back to Linda saying that you'll have to live here and what you create will be on the cover of Time Magazine. Well, all that is true. I mean, Time Magazine was here the day we opened. They did a story, and I got to stand next to that same woman who didn't want the word hope in the mission statement. And as we stood there waiting for President Clinton's letter to arrive, Eugenie did grab my hand, and we looked up at these gorgeous bronze gates. And she said, I can't imagine this place without hope.
It's my personal honor to recognize my mentor and friend, Carrie Watkins.
Thank you, Nancy and Scott, for the pictures. It was incredible to watch the students and the equipment. Last week, I have more of a voice than I had then. Shoot those pictures. Thank you for this honor and to the fellow honorees. It is a privilege to stand here and be back in the school. I went to journalism school across the open, and it was Copeland Hall. It looks much different than this incredible building and institution that you get to enjoy today, led by Dean Foote, who is an unbelievable leader, and great staff, President Warren and Tripp, and the people who are leading this university. It is remarkable to watch the transformation since I left here in 1986. I'm not sure if that's purposeful or not, but it has changed a lot. And the gift that the Gaylord family gave was here for him today. One of the Gaylord's grandkids is here, and I hope people understand the gifts that they gave and the incredible legacy that family has given to Oklahoma since statehood. And to see Mr. Gaylord in the courtyard, to knowing that family today and knowing what they contribute to you and to this school and to my life, to my beginnings at Channel 4, is an unbelievable gift. And that's the legacy that has to be perpetuated, and I hope that one of these young journalists, one of these young graduates will take that and move on and carry that torch, because it has to be perpetuated over the long term. And it's a big burden, and it is an incredible gift that students get in the school today to have the facilities and the equipment and the things that they were able to shoot that video of the 46 years memorial. As pretty as it is, it's better because of the equipment that those kids are using. And I know my staff was green with envy watching those kids use some of the very latest and greatest, and that is what is so great about teaching this next generation. I was, as Dean Foote mentioned, raised in a family of journalists, had a grandfather who was a great writer and a dad who was a great writer, and both were happy to use their red flare pens to teach me what to do better along my writing days. And so grateful for that legacy and for that history that I have. And a mom that was willing to push and to encourage along the way. And I am so grateful that I have each still in my blood and in communities that do have an incredible role in communities all across this nation. And I believe while they are changing and maybe different, will be here a long time ago. I was in Copeland Hall with Mr. Pascal was my advisor, and he thought I had writing down and newspaper down, I need to try TV, or try broadcast news, and so he sent me to what he called his favorite card that won the Capitol, and he really wanted her family recipe Christmas cookies. I still haven't tasted them, but he wanted them a great recipe, and I get confused that I still haven't had a cookie, but he sent me out a card and promised me an A in my internship if I had that recipe, which I never got, and I didn't get the A, actually, but my long friendship with Warren was when he was such a great teacher and mentor, and was willing to, show you and teach you and help you along the way, and is free with advice and for encouragement, and most importantly is willing to tell you the truth, which so many people along the way to say what you want to hear and what you need to hear. And Linda would always say really what you needed to hear, and that was and has meant more than I could ever let anyone know. And then I went to college, which was an incredible experience, traveling across the country, every small town, good and bad, so I don't care if I ever go back to. And work for a chain that was something most of us adore and love the product. But they didn't have much of a PR plan or practice plan in place, and I got to live on weekends in some towns because of stupid things store managers did, and it was a great learning experience. And when I look back, it was all God's plan in preparing me for what I do today. And I don't take that lightly because it really was a part of the bigger picture. And along that way, while I was in Copeland Hall, I actually met my husband, who we were in journalism law together. And my friend Lori Rahal, who's here today, was in that same class, and he knows Terry, and I remember Terry, but he doesn't remember me. I don't think that personally either, but we formed a great friendship, which came over our friendship, and we got to work in the memorial together, and I was there first, and he came back to Oklahoma and returned and helped us build that memorial museum that you see today. And I am really seriously one very, very small part of that. A group of community leaders, my board chairman, Michelle, who's building a small building at the new Devon Tower in Seattle, California, is here. But we had a representation of really what came together in 1995 and the days that followed. And it was a remarkable process of people, donors, families and survivors, a lot of people who said we have to take a stand and not let this, not be known for the bombing, but how we respond to the bombing. And when you think of Oklahoma City today, and when people think of Oklahoma City today, the mayor knows it better than anyone, it is how we pick ourselves up and have moved forward. And that Devon Tower is the biggest beacon of that rebuilding and moving forward of anything we've done. And NBA franchise and all those other things along the way are very important parts of that story. And it's part of that determination and certainly the hope that you see. So today I received this because of a great board, trustees, and a staff that never give them a word because of yourself, and I would never be foolish enough to think that. I am supported by an incredible staff of great people that make me look good on a daily basis and help me along the way, and two are willing to tell me the truth and not just what I want to hear. And I believe in that. And they pulled it out of this. On Monday night, my nephew Lincoln, who's now carrying on the family tradition here, he came to watch our son play football and he said, so what's your presentation? What are you going to do for your presentation? There's a couple of classes in the TV's awards, and frankly, I hadn't thought a lot about it. But he put the fire in my belly. So about 12:30 at night, I sent my staff and email things I kind of wanted to include in this presentation, and they spent the next day doing their real job and what I needed them to do as well. And I think it's a great tackle of the opportunity we've had to tell our stories with the media. And why I think this whole thing has come full circle for me is that I understand journalists, I believe they have such an important place in this world in telling this story and telling the truth and being fair and balanced and making sure that no matter what, it's a good story, a bad story, a horrific story that happened on April 19, 1995, people have a role to play. And they were the storytellers on the front line. That is the first act that people watch from start to finish on live television. I mean, nothing will ever change that. It's the very first time you sit at home and watch live television of It was seconds of the bombing until the bombing came down, to the trial of the perpetrator, to the completion of the memorial. All of my shoulders. And I really feel like those were steps put in place that I understood why we should have that kind of access for media. And if you go to the museum, you understand the role and the importance of the media as they told the story. It is told first person by members of the media. And it has given me this place has given me an incredible foundation to tell that story. And a great background in forming what we've done and how we share this message across the world. So thank you very much for the honor. Very much.
How could we not be inspired by these four recipients that all of us could see why they are so worthy of joining this elite group 100 and carry on tradition in this house? Congratulations to all. You've seen the videos today. A very impressive work in storytelling. And I wanted to recognize the students of Professor Scott Hines who told the stories today. And now, I'll ask Nancy to lead us to Know You Can as we close this official part of the ceremony. Thank you for joining us. Here.